Have you heard us talk about befriending wakefulness and then wondered, how is it going to be okay for me to be awake at night when I feel drained, exhausted, tired, awful, not like myself if I don't sleep a certain amount? If so, this video is for you. In this episode of Mind in the Comments, we will look at a question that is, pretty much exactly the one I just reviewed. So yeah, without further ado, actually, let's jump in and look at this question, which is from Melissa. It is a comment from a recent success story where Christian guested the channel. And Melissa 9 hours ago said the following: "One of the best success stories! Exclamation mark. I'm still in the middle of struggle and wanting to find hope in these successes. Can I ask a question? How can I truly befriend wakefulness if I feel so tired and drained?" And it's not spelled out here by Melissa, but it sounds like she's wondering, how can I truly befriend wakefulness if I feel so drained and tired if I don't sleep, if I am awake at night, that is. So yeah, I just want to take an opportunity to answer this common question. And firstly, the rationale behind befriending wakefulness is quite simple. The idea is basically that when we have had some trouble sleeping, we've been awake at night because we've been scared, we've been stressed, and then our brain can start thinking like, oh, being awake at night is a threat, this is dangerous, this is not something that should be happening. And the brain starts to think of wakefulness as like as a threat, an enemy, a danger, something like that, the opposite of a friend, if you will. And then we can get into this loop of like, the more scared we are of being awake, the more vigilant and alert we become, the more awake we become. And then the more scared we become because what we were scared of happened, and then we become more alert, et cetera, et cetera. And this is the struggle that we call insomnia. So the rationale is of befriending wakefulness is basically that if we can find a way to teach the brain that being awake is just a state of mind, it is not dangerous, it's not a threat, it's harmless, it's just a product of our own safety machinery, then we become less scared. When we're not scared of being awake, then sleep happens easier. So that's the idea behind befriending wakefulness. But the question that Melissa has is very, very common. Somebody says, for example, like, hey Daniel, like, okay, I'm not scared of being awake, but I'm scared of how I feel if I don't sleep. I don't want to feel awful and tired and drained and really just not like myself at all. And so this leads us to the experiment. So I invite you to try this experiment. It is a thought experiment. Imagine a person, some random person, and we take this person and we make them stay awake a whole night. Let's say we make them stay awake a whole night, and then we ask them the following day, how do you feel? How do you feel today? I think it is quite likely that this random person who we kept awake the whole night will say, I'm tired. They'll say, I'm tired. I'm maybe sleepy. It's a little bit hard for me to focus right now. I think this is very, very likely. So this shows to us that being awake instead of sleeping, it in itself does make us humans very often tired, sleepy, hard to focus. That's very, very expected. Now, if we continue this thought experiment, I think this is the salient point. What is so helpful to see, I think, is what our fictional person here is not saying. What is this person not saying? This random person that we kept up all night and we ask, how are you feeling, is not going to say, I feel like the world is collapsing on me. I feel a tsunami of anxiety. I feel like a failure. I feel completely drained, exhausted, like I have no life left in my body. I'm dysfunctional. I can't do anything. We will not hear that. And what does this tell us? This tells us that the brunt of that heaviness does not come from the fact that we were awake, but the story we tell ourselves about being awake. When being awake at night starts to mean something is wrong with us, we're broken, we're never going to sleep again, we're different from other people, we have a unique situation that will never improve. When that is the storyline, that story, those thoughts make us feel really sad, anxious, heavy, unwell, And when we see this, it can really, really clarify things. I can clarify that, it's not really about the minutes and hours of sleep or the minutes of hours of wakefulness, but it's about the story around that. It's how I treat myself, how I talk to myself, how I interpret what just happened. It's interesting, but it's so often the case in life that it's not the circumstances in life that really matter in terms of our experience, but how we interpret those circumstances, how we think of them. And when we see this, then it can become so much easier to say, okay, so it is okay. It is more okay for me to be awake at night. That can make me tired and fatigued, but the kind of overwhelming heaviness, that just comes from thoughts around the storyline, the plot, the narrative. And when that narrative changes, then everything follows and things become easier and easier for us. So, Melissa, I hope this made sense to you. Please let us know in the comment section what you thought, and anyone else, of course, that has been in a similar place to Melissa. Do share with us what you think, your experiences, and anything else you want to share in the comment section. With that said, I'm going to wish you now a really peaceful, pleasant weekend. And if you are finding your way to where you want to be, place of peaceful sleep and peace of mind, that is wonderful. Do let us know. If things are tricky, on the other hand, if you're finding that it's hard to figure out what's going on, you feel alone, you feel isolated, there's nobody to talk to, people around you are maybe not, they don't understand what you're going through, then please consider heading over to our website. It's thesleepcoachschool.com. For some reason, I have this. Oh, there it is. Here it is. I'm going to show you. Thesleepcoachschool.com. There it is. And you can find several coaching options. And if you decide to join any of our programs, then we look forward to seeing you on the other side. That was it for today. Again, have a wonderful weekend and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.